Hello, this is Lisa Patterson, Vice Dean for Career Services at the University at Buffalo School of Law. Thank you for joining us for the Virtual Career Fair for 2021 on February 19th from 1:30 to 4 p.m. This year we will be in a virtual format, but I believe that this will be a really great opportunity for you to reach lots of our students and alumni to display the best things about your organization and to find wonderful candidates for the future. Today's training consists of 31 slides, including the following topics. We're going to cover how the fair is going to work, how you're going to log in and turn on all of your controls so you can be seen and heard. Then we'll be looking at different methods of communication with the participants visiting your space. Finally, we'll be looking at the way to display and decorate your space using different tools available to you, and how to use the breakout rooms to facilitate more intimate conversations. Here's how the fair is going to work. We have used this format in the past for various other career fairs and events, and we have found that it works very well. The feedback that we've gotten from our participants is that it has been very warm and engaging, and they have found it very easy to use. Our employers have also liked the way it enables them to talk to a large number of people while still maintaining the ability to have individual conversations. So the way it will work is that you will use your assigned Zoom link to access your room. This link will be sent to you via email and is also accessible through the main access point for the fair. When you get there, you will make yourself the host. Career fair helpers who are also hosts for your page will visit you sometime between 1 and 1:30 to help you do that, but you will be able to claim host status on your own. All the tables will appear as a list on the Career Fair website for the attendees to click on. The site is shown on the slide. You will be able to click on the other rooms available to other employers if you would like to visit them. And certainly there will also be a gathering room that is a main room that we will have set up for questions and for mingling. If at any time during the day you need any help, please feel free to email me at lpatter@buffalo.edu, or you can text or call me at 716-870-2562. So now we'll talk more about how you're going to get into your room and turn on all of your controls. Let's start. The first thing you need to do when you log in is to turn on your sound and video so that you can be seen and heard. When you click on the link for your Zoom room, you will see the following setup. It will have the name of your employer and the host name. First thing you want to do is to unmute yourself. So at the bottom left of the screen, click on the unmute button. Next, to start your video, click the next button that says Start Video. The red lines through each of those icons should disappear and your picture should appear on the page. Next, I'm going to show you how to claim host status. This means that you will have the power to use all of the controls as though you were the original host of the meeting. So go to the button at the bottom middle of the screen that says Participants. That will open a white box to the right of your computer. At the bottom, you will see 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots and you'll get a little menu where it will say Raise Hand and Claim Host. Click on Claim Host. You should now see a white box that is asking you to add a host key. For this meeting, our host key is 654321. Go ahead and enter that number into the box and click on Claim Host. This will now make you the host for the meeting with all of the powers that that gives you, and we will talk about many of those in the future. By the way, in order to remember the code for this host key, 654321 is 123456 backwards. Zoom did not let us give you 123456 as a code, so this is the closest thing we could come to something that would be very memorable. Now we're going to cover the various ways that Zoom allows you to communicate with the participants in your room. The first thing to do is to look at the participant box. You had opened that before in order to claim host status. Right now, the picture I'm showing you has just me as a participant because I am the host. The first thing you want to do as a host or as any other participant in the room is to look at your name and picture and make sure that it is conveying the information that you want it to. So you can see where it says Lisa Patterson, host me, that would be your name right there. And if you hover over that, you will see that it'll say unmute and then there's a more button. If you click on the more button, it will give you the option to rename yourself or to edit your profile picture. You may not need to do this if you have typed in your name the way you like it, but I'm going to show you a few things to consider as you look at the way you are displaying in the participants list. Think about what you write as your name in the participants list. This name will show up under your picture when you are chatting with people in the room. You can use your actual name. You may decide that you want to use just your first name and the name of your organization. You may want to use the space to list what your title is, or if there's a role that you keep in the room, like you are a greeter or an interviewer or a host. If there are multiple departments or practice groups in your employer's space, you may want to use this space to indicate which practice group that you're with. Also, you may be interested in putting in your pronouns if you would like to indicate to your visitors what your identity is. You also have the option to change your picture. This is optional. Most of the time you have a picture of yourself set up when you sign into Zoom. Your picture will show when you stop your video. You can use any picture you like, but be aware that this is an option if you wanted to use it for away signs, a logo, something inspirational, or something else besides your face that you would like to display. You will upload these from files that you've saved on your computer when you click on the Change Picture option. Now that you have claimed host status and set your name and photo, here are some other powers that you will have as host over the participants in your room. The first thing that you can do in the participant box is to hover over the name of the person that you are looking to adjust. Here you can initiate chat with them, you can ask them to start their video, you can adjust host statuses and share it with them, you can also rename them if you would like. If you click on the three dots at the bottom of the participant box, which is at the bottom of your screen, you will also have a number of other powers over the settings of the meeting. These are things that you can toggle on and off as you find that they work for you in your space. For example, if you have a lot of people in your meeting, you can ask them all to unmute if you would like them to all chime in on a particular discussion topic. You can turn that off. You can also mute everyone when they come in, just to keep things quiet and tidy as people enter your room. You can also decide that you don't want to do that by unclicking that. You can allow participants to unmute themselves. If you do not click that, then you will have to unmute for them. If you would like to allow participants to rename themselves, then you can leave that clicked as well. You can also decide to play a sound when someone comes in or out of your room. This is helpful to keep track of the people who are entering and leaving, but you can turn it off if you find it distracting by unclicking this option. You can also turn on and off the waiting room here in this place. If you would like to control the flow of people into your room by enabling a waiting room, this will trigger an alert to you that you will have to admit everyone who comes into your room. Otherwise, if it is turned off the way it is in this sample, each person entering your room will come in without your permission. You may find if you have a backlog of people in your room and you want to start controlling the flow of visitors that a waiting room can be very helpful. Let's talk a little bit about chatting. So there's a chat window, and you can access it by clicking on Chat at the bottom of your screen. It will open another box to the right, which will usually sit under the Participants box if you have that open. Once you have enabled chat and opened the chat box, you will be able to see all of the conversations that are being broadcast to the room, that is, to everyone, as well as to you directly. The chatting function is available to your participants if you select Everyone Publicly and Directly in the participant options. Click on the three dots at the bottom of the chat screen to get the menu that will allow you to control the participants' chat levels. We encourage you to keep it set on Everyone Publicly and Directly to enable your participants to ask questions and to interact with your representatives. However, it is good to know that you do have the option to limit the chatting if you are finding a reason to do so. This menu also allows you to save the chat. We encourage you to do this if you have had content in the chat throughout the day that you would like to refer back to again in the future. Just a note, we will talk about uploaded documents in a future slide. They are not saved in the Save Chat, so we will encourage you to save them when they are uploaded at the time. How do you get a chat going with an individual in your room? There are lots of ways to do so. The first one is, you will see in the participants list that the name of each participant is listed. All you have to do is hover over each name and select More, and you will find a chat option. Then you can initiate a chat with that person directly there. That chat will not be seen by anyone else in the room except between the two of you. The chat will appear in the chat box. If someone chats to you, their name will show in the From section of the chat. To reply to them, you can simply click on their name in their message to direct chat privately back to them. Please note that below this arrow, it will show who you are chatting to. Here. So when you are chatting, be sure to notice who your chat is going to, whether it is an individual person or possibly everyone. You can click on the down arrow after the name showing there for a list of participants or to go back to chatting to everyone. It is very easy to continue a conversation with the wrong person unless you start looking at the name in that field. So do be sure that you're looking there so that you know who you're chatting with. One thing that is really helpful in chat, especially in the career fair format, is that we are allowed to file share in chat. In order to do that, click on the File icon to upload a document. This is something that you can do if you have a brochure or other piece of material to share with the room or with a direct individual, or it is something that you can request one of your individuals to do. It is very common for an employer to ask a participant to upload their resume into the chat. Here they will see the file box pull up. They will select the desired file that they would like to add, and it will then appear in the chat. As the recipient of that file, all you have to do is double click where the file appears, and it will download to your machine. Now we're going to talk about ways that you can display and decorate your space in order to maximize the information that you can communicate to your participants in your Zoom room. Let's talk about views in Zoom. By views, I mean the way that your space looks to you when you are interacting with the participants in your space. If you click on the top part of your screen, you will see that you can look at speaker view or gallery view. Speaker view will show whoever is speaking as a very large box in the middle of your screen with the pictures of the other participants small along the edge. Gallery view allows you to see everyone's picture the same size in a grid with just a little yellow highlight for whoever is talking. If you are giving a presentation and you will be the speaker, you may want to have a speaker view so that people can see you when you are speaking. But for gallery view, that's usually what people will do so they can see everyone in the room. Your own view is also adjustable. Be aware that most of the times when you have various boxes open, like participants or chat, there is a movable wall between the black section of where people's pictures are and the other boxes. To manipulate that wall, hover your mouse over the border between the black and white sections and look for this little cross symbol with 2 arrows on it. That will indicate that if you click there, you will be able to drag the wall back and forth to make it bigger or smaller. This sometimes can help you if you want a bigger view of one side or another of the page. Video settings can be really helpful when you are setting up your space and tailoring it to your needs. The way to access the video settings is to look at the Stop Video icon and click on the little up arrow to the right of it. You should get a little mini menu, and if you click on it on the video settings option, it will take you into a whole list of choices for you. This looks like a lot of options, but don't be overwhelmed. When you click on the 3 buttons, you will first see the screen to the left that starts with camera. Most likely your computer has chosen the settings for your camera, so you don't have to worry about that. The My Video section deals with the ways that your video comes across to your participants. Mirror My Video is very helpful because if you don't check it, it will actually display to you your appearance as it appears to your viewers, which actually will mean that if you wave your right hand, it will appear that your left hand is raised. So to mirror your video so that your eyes will see your image the way that you think it should look, it's a lot easier to have it mirrored. You can also use that sliding scale next to Touch Up My Appearance to give a little bit of blur or a little bit of touch up to your appearance if you would like. You can see what it'll look like in a preview of the picture above if you want to play with sliding that back and forth. Adjusting for low light can also be helpful. I have it on auto and my computer just takes care of that for me. You can also check or uncheck Always Display Participant Names on their video. I leave that checked because I like to see their names. Now to the right of the screen you'll see there are more options. The way to get to those is just to scroll down from this menu. If you didn't know they were there, you may not think to scroll down, but make sure that you do look at the bottom of this screen. There are some really interesting options here. One of them is to turn off my video when joining meeting. This gives you a chance to make sure that you're all set and you're sitting properly before your video turns on, and it gives you the power to turn your video on and off by keeping it off until you're ready. Always showing the preview dialog probably won't mean anything to you, but it does give you a sense of which meeting you're joining, and you can see the information for that meeting. Hide non-video participants means that if someone does not have their video on, you won't be able to see them. I like to keep this unchecked because I do like to see at least a square with a name in it for each person who's in my room. Seeing myself as an active speaker while speaking is also helpful because then you know that people are hearing you and that your speech is coming through when you are speaking to the group. You can also decide how many people you want to be able to see at once if you choose gallery view in the views we were just talking about in the last slide. If you would like to see as many people as possible on the screen, you can include 49 participants in your view. If you would rather see them a little bit bigger and then have to scroll from one page to the next to see more, you can click on 25. This is a fun option. You can choose virtual backgrounds that will go behind your face when your video is playing in Zoom. The way to access those is to click on that same up arrow next to Stop Video, but instead of choosing video settings, we're going to choose virtual background. That will pull up this screen. If you have used this before, you should have some pictures in here that you've already put in there. But if you're new to this option, there will be some stock photos that have already been added, or you can add your own image. Click on the plus sign to add a photo from your files. Click Image, Add Image, and it will take you to your files to choose where the picture is. Remember, you will have to have a picture saved to your computer in order to use this function. You can get creative with your virtual backgrounds. Some options that you can choose from is possibly your logo, an event or announcement that will sit behind you as you speak and draw some attention, scenery from your area, something inspirational to do with your area of practice, something that's fun and seasonal for the day, or you could even put an away message so that when you get up and leave your space, the picture will still live behind you. If your computer can handle it, not all can, but if yours has a good video card, you may be also able to upload a video file to your background. You'll click on the same button that had the add image, but you will instead add video. And you will surf to the video on your computer the same way you did for your image. Here I have a recording of some turkeys that visited me one day that sometimes I like to show people to break the ice. In Zoom, you can also share your screen. We're going to talk about how to do that, but here are some reasons why you might want to share your screen. Some people like to run a video if you need to step away, or if you have a group of visitors that would like to get some information, or if you're giving a presentation to a group. You can also use it to share a Word document, either as a message that you would like to show in your space, or to illustrate a point. Perhaps you have a sample job posting that you would like to show to the group. You can actually use it to show anything that you might be looking at on your computer, such as a web page, some other kind of document, or even a picture. While you are sharing your screen, you will be able to access all of the controls for your meeting by hovering over the top of your screen. When you are ready to stop sharing, there will be a red button that says Stop Share to click on so that you can go back to your regular view. Let's talk about breakout rooms. Breakout rooms are a key to really successful virtual career fair Zoom rooms. To open a breakout room, you will click on the bottom of your screen where it says Breakout Rooms, and it will open up a box asking you how many rooms you would like. I suggest that you have more than one person in your Zoom room if you're going to use breakout rooms, so that one person can be greeting new visitors to your space while the other is speaking to individuals or small groups in the separate room. Create as many rooms as you need to accommodate the number of representatives who are going to be in your room. I suggest that you click on Assign Manually in this setting so that your host can put people in the rooms as needed. If you're going to have more than one room, it is helpful to name them so that you know which room is which. Just simply hover over the room that you've created to name after you've created them, and you will be able to achieve that. Here you will see on the left that I have created 3 rooms and named them for the representative who will be in that room. Once those are settled, I can go ahead and open all rooms. If you want some more options, click on Options, and you will be able to decide whether you want to allow participants to choose their room, whether you want them to be able to leave the room on their own, which is advisable, or whether you want them to have a timer on them. Most of them will be set up the way you would like them pretty much already, but if you wanted to take a look, you can definitely adjust those. Once you have those set up, click on Open All Rooms. Then those rooms will be sitting there waiting for you to access as needed. Nothing will happen until you've assigned something to the room, so they can be sitting there waiting to be used. Your participants, both your representatives and your visitors, should be able to return to the main room when ready. You also will have the option to broadcast a message to all, as shown in this box, if you needed to send a message to people asking them to come back or to notify them of something. Don't worry about closing the rooms. You can certainly leave them open till the end of your meeting, and they will just retire on their own. Do feel free to reach out to the main gathering room or to my contact information if you would like help setting up your breakout rooms ahead of time. And that's it for today. I hope you've discovered some great tools to make your Zoom space useful and helpful to you as you participate in our virtual career fair. Please do reach out to me at Lisa Patterson, lpatter@buffalo.edu, or 716-870-2562 if you would like additional help with setting up your room. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Thank you for being with us.